Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 238. When we last left our heroes, the fight between, really most of the Fire Force and the Raffles doppelganger continues, specifically as Shinra, squares off kind of one-on-one against Raffles. Raffles is absorbed by the star-looking thing, and sets out 8 demons to try to stop Shinra, and Shinra instantly destroys them with the power of his light speed, which creates the impression of Shinra as a hero, seemingly permanently discounting, destroying the demon dynamic, the demon idea of Shinra that people had. So yeah, that's kind of the big thing of last chapter. So now we jump right into chapter 238, That Figure. And our picture here are Pusu Pusu and Mera Mera, fireballs flickering in the darkness. They cast shadows deeper than dark. And so we open kind of right where we left off, with Shinra hovering right in front of Raffles. All right, Raffles, time to finish this. And it won't take more than a single hit. And Raffles, who you may recall, is just like the face in the center of the wheel now. Just stares at Shinra passively. And Victor calls up to him, Shinra-kun! And Shinra looks down at him. I just remembered the data I gathered on your lightspeed kit from the Chinese peninsula. If the shockwave from that reaches us, we're gonna have some serious injuries. Okay. That's not good. That's distinctly not good. And Shinra looks down at Victor, as does Iris, and Iris prays, Oh Lord, please. And we see flames start to gather around Iris. This might be her making her debut as a third generation. Because you'll recall, no one except Shinra, I think, knows that. Grant the sun's protection unto us, thy wayward sheep. And we see, like, the flames of Adola. Like, her belief that they will be safe is going to protect them. I beg of you. And we see this glow. Yeah, we see from Captain Pan, he starts to glow. What's this light? Kareen is also glowing and turns to him. This one of your buffs, Captain Pan? No, it's not me. What the? And we see we see from Shinra's perspective now, that entire area of the coastline is now covered in what looks to be like a maybe a shell of flame. And as Iris like breathes in and out, probably like under some kind of strain from all of the work she's doing, Victor looks over at her. It's the miracle we saw with Dragon. So yeah, that seems to have been a very, very early form of the awakening Iris went through during the time skip. Anyway, Show's also outside the bubble. He looks down. What? That's the light of an Adola burst. Now the light seems to be spreading across the coastline. And Show turns to Shinra. Brother, it looks like you don't have to worry about the shockwave. And Shinra looks down. So the sister is awakened as the 8th pillar. And we see Iris continue to pray. Having the sister's devotion and prayers on my side, it's got me feeling good about this. I do want to kind of note the little irony of Iris using her prayers against the founder of her faith. I'm sure there's something to dig into there. I'm not sure if Okubo means to dig into anything there. But anyway. And speaking of the founder of the faith, Raffles yells out, Ye of the Tokyo Empire, let me show you the way to salvation. And the cameraman is still filming. I'm not sure if people inside the bubble can see out of it, or if the cameraman is just outside the bubble. I'm not sure. The time is near. Your end is at hand. Ye shall return to the great flame of fire. So we see here, he's very clearly, something actually just occurred to me. I was about to bring up how Raffles is, helping the White Clad create the atmosphere of death and destruction that's so central to their whole plan. But what just occurred to me is that the original Raffles didn't exist. right? Or he was killed by Yona fairly early on, and the Emperor Raffles was Yona. What if this I was about to say, what if this isn't an infernal? It's just someone that Yona is shapeshifted. But the floating and the merging in with the wheel makes that a little unlikely. Um, I don't know. Just something to keep in mind that, because if it is a doppelganger, whose perception of Raffles is this? I don't know. Anyway, and Shinra strikes back. That's not salvation. A savior is called a savior because they're supposed to save the world. So this seems to make it clear that everyone inside the bubble can see, maybe, or maybe the bubble is gone. Because Ogun calls out, "You've got this, Shinra." And Juggernaut also adds in, "Do your best, Shinra-kun." Yeah, so now all of Company 8's joining in too, so they can very clearly see out of the bubble. "Shinra!" And Obi adds in, "Finish this and come home, Shinra." "Roger that!" And Shinra blasts off, activates his light speed, particleizes, and then we see this big boom, a pure flash of white, and Shinra has, kicked a hole through Raffles' head. And Raffles just kind of, stares, and Fairy smiles, which is a bad sign, because anything that makes Fairy smile is very bad for the world. And Iris finishes her prayer, La Tome, and Raffles just explodes. And Obi calls out the shockwave, and they all kind of brace for impact. And Shinra looks back. Also, has Iris's prayer disappeared? Because they're not physically glowing anymore. The whole bubble that they were in is gone. But the whole point of Iris's prayer was to protect them from the shockwave. So I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, Shinra looks back at his handiwork. Power's pouring out of its body. I really did it. Maki calls out, "He did it, Lieutenant!" And Hinoa just smiles. Yes, he did. And on the TV, we're back in Asakusa with Benny, Conroe, and Hibana. And Hibana calls out, "Incredible, Shinra!" And Conroe just smiles. That's something else. Yep. And Kurono, who is no longer sitting on the wheel, just looks up. Ugh, you've gotten disgustingly strong. And we see what looks like blood, maybe isn't blood, because of, being a doppelganger or whatever, pours out of the hole in Raffles' head. As Shinra just floats there, and the wheel falls into the sea, get this big, wave as a you know what I mean. It falls and a wave jumps up. And Ogun calls out, "My guy, you're a real hero." And Vulcan turns to Obi, "Captain, it's already over." And Obi just calls out to Shinra, "Way to go, hero." Oh, I see why Fairy was smiling. Because all across, we see people watching, in further inland, hands in her mouth. "No, it can't be. It can't be. No. Raffles-sama." Yeah, this might have been a bad move. I mean, there wasn't a better move. There was not a better move, because Raffles was just gonna kill everybody if Shinra didn't do this. And I'm guessing the cameraman did not get what Raffles was saying. I'm not entirely sure how he won it. I'm not. Oh, I think did the one reporter who infernalized a few chapters ago, did he have a microphone and that was how he was picking up sound? Because if that was how the camera picked up sound and Raffles did not, was obviously not mic'd, then the citizens probably don't know that Raffles was trying to kill everyone. And so to everyone except Shinra, except the Fire Force, or at least Companies 2, 4, and 8, that looked like a criminal, a wanted man, killing the founder of their faith, of their empire. Fuck. The White Cloud, this was a well thought out trap by Fairy. Anyway, the people are like crying for Raffles. And Raffles finishes his falling into the sea, and Fairy looks on. It is the end of hope. With this, humanity shall sink into despair. The cameraman looks up, not realizing he's responsible for all of Fairy's plot. Amazing. That fire soldier. And just then, Shinra feels the force of devil. Everything failed. He lost. Fairy wins. Any little image of the hero that Shinra got from the fire soldiers and the refugees last chapter is gone by the sheer force of public perception of him as the devil. That devil murdered Raffles-sama. We'll never forgive you. Kill him. Devil! And Shinra, none. For a second there, I thought this might be the people on the shoreline, any survivors, but there weren't any buildings there. So this is just Adola delivering this image to Shinra across the planet, across the country. But Shinra looks back towards the mainland, and Fairy says, Shinra Kusakabe, thou shalt never be a hero. This is goodbye. And Vulcan calls out, Captain, what's wrong? It's Shinra. He disappeared. Okay. The hero who saved the world was instead called a devil, and now he's disappeared out of the sky. Where could Shinra have gone? To be continued chapter 239, The Vanished Hero. Okay. This was a great chapter. This was a fantastic ending to this arc. The whole, up until we checked back in with the populace, it was, a perfectly fine chapter. It's like I kind of complained about with the Hibachi fight. It lacks the kind of tactile, physical sensation that makes the best Fire Force fights as great as they are. But it was fun. It was, Shinra finally. It was everyone putting their faith in Shinra, like Shinra has always wanted, and as a Shinra fan, that was great to see. But it really turned on that incredible reveal that no one else sees it that way. No one who is not on that shoreline sees Shinra as the hero. They don't know that Raffles was going to kill everyone. They see Raffles as the founder of their faith, the founder of their empire, and Shinra, a criminal, a traitor, has murdered him again. And it's the kind of thing that, as soon as, like the best Fire Force twist, basically everything with the Dola, as soon as you lay it out, it's of course that's what's going on. But just to see everything play out, it was just so mix of horrifying and great. It's one of those moments. It's one of those great Fire Force moments. But now Shinra's disappeared. Either the sheer force of his, maybe the turn of expectations did it. I don't know. I honestly don't really have any, if Shinra, became a devil, if doppelganger Shinra came back, that would make sense to me. Disappeared? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see till next week. But yeah, this chapter is great. This chapter is, honestly, maybe my favorite since the time skip. It's, it blew me away, and yet in the same time made perfect sense. It's great. This chapter is, that twist is fucking fantastic. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!